Hello, hello, beautiful soul, and welcome to another episode of Loving Life with Court. Today, we are talking about a life that is loved, so let's get rid of the hate. I love it. I'm here for it. I can't wait to dive into it. The last episode that I put out was all about looking at how our choices influence the change in our life. And a big part of what I was talking about is how every day we have these choices that we're really blind to and these possibilities that we get to choose from. But we decide instead to just make these big out of the blue changes that are not sustainable and that come from a place of fear and hate. So today we're going to dive into how can we stop this cycle of hate so that we can really learn to live a life that you and I absolutely fucking love. So let's dive into it. If you are at a place right now where you just hate the life that you're living, the job that you're at, the relationship that you may or may not have, you hate dating, you hate your body, you hate your financial status, you hate being in debt, like there's just so much hate, you feel so strongly towards it, this is your episode because in short, I want to tell you that hating all of these things is making your life so much harder. But let's really dive into why and how it's doing that. So, whatever you're working towards or whatever you're strongly hating, you really won't be able to come out of it until you stop fearing and fighting it. And fear and hate are so interconnected. They're so deeply intertwined. And these emotions really feed off of each other. Hate stems from fear of the unknown, fear of losing control, fear of something different. And unresolved fear grows into anger and into resentment and eventually into hate. And on the flip side, hate can fuel fear. So on the other end of that, negative emotions reinforce each other and leading to deeper insecurity, anxiety, and self-doubt. So essentially, bad news is you're stuck in a never-ending cycle. Good news is I'm going to help you get out of it. And I'm going to give you the perspective of all of this through a story of my friend who we will name Sally. Sally is a woman who has struggled with her body image for years. She hates her size. She's constantly comparing herself to societal standards of beauty. Every time she looks in the mirror, she criticizes herself, fixating on all of the things that she doesn't like about herself. And this hatred for her body starts to fuel intense fear. Fear of being judged, fear of not being accepted, and fear of never being good enough. But not just that, because with Sally, she thinks that she fears failure. She fears that whatever she sets her mind to, it won't actually work out, and if it does, she'll lose it. But this is not the fear of failure. This is the fear of success, which so many of us blindly fear and eventually grow to hate. So hate is a response to the fear of success. And this is kind of a self-protection mechanism. And how this works is like a self-protection mechanism. By hating something, it creates a distance between the perceived threat and reinforces a sense of security. So really thinking, and if you've been there too, thinking, what if I did it? I could fuck it up. I could lose it. And that idea seems more dangerous to our mind and harmful than the state that you yourself are in right now. So how can we break this cycle? How can we take this never-ending cycle of fear and hate that are interconnected and intertwined with one another and have resulted in this fear of success where you have chosen consciously or subconsciously to live in the state that you're in now with the fear of one day getting out of that, and not just getting out of that, but maybe also thinking that if you do and you lose that, you'll feel even worse than how you'll feel right now. Well, to stop the hate, to stop this underlying cycle of hate and fear, it's not changing from the feeling of hate. So feeling this need to change because you just hate the state that you're in right now, which so many of us do. I can tell you that when I started losing weight, it was because I hated the way I looked. And I'll get to that in a minute. but it's actually overcoming the fear. And this involves understanding and compassion towards whatever it is you hate. And not just that, but gratitude for where you are. And I'll give you an example. So manifesting is all about practicing gratitude for what you have now to align yourself with your highest power and the life that you deserve But where you're at right now is this cycle of hate bringing more hate and fear driving the hate, and it's just never ending. Like I've said 10 million times, we're in a never ending cycle, but we're going to break it. And this is how easy it is grow a love for whatever you are hating right now. Love the debt, love the weight, love the breakups, love the loss, love the jobs, like whatever state you are in right now and you're just not living your best life, learn how to love it. And how you can do that is seeing the world through the perspective of the thing that you hate. And this perspective and this idea is what really changed it for me. So I'll give you an example. When I first started losing weight, like I said, it stemmed from a place of hate. It stemmed from a place of just not loving the body that I was in. And then when I was able to see the perspective of what my body wanted to give to me, what my body was going through, this is when I began to have compassion, when I began to have understanding, and when I began to practice gratitude. So I realized that my body was not against me. My body didn't want this for me. My body didn't want me to be 250 pounds and absolutely hate myself. You know what did is the fear that resided within me. And this fear developed into resentment, and this resentment developed into a hate. And for me, I was so fearful that if I lost the weight and put it back on, that I would feel even crappier than I would in that state. So I just didn't want to even try. It was easier to be stuck in this state, in this never-ending cycle, like I've said, of just hating my body, hating what it had to do, what it does for me and what it continues to do for me. But I didn't realize the perspective that my body was taking. I was giving it foods that it didn't need. I was not moving it. I was not trying to ever connect with it. I didn't listen to it. Like, how fucking annoyed would my body be? And I'm mad at it. I hate it. When it comes to your finances are not against you. Your bank account is not against you. Your situation in life is not against you. You probably are against yourself. You have money, you lose money. You have money, you lose money. And this is because you're just constantly fearful of when your next check is going to come in, when you're going to have money, that you just spend it recklessly, and then you grow this hate towards money. And this all has to go back to manifesting, but that's a whole another tangent for another day. But where this all starts is take the perspective of whatever shitty thing is going on right now in your life, whatever you have some strong hatred towards, and offer it gratitude, understanding, and compassion. And when you're able to do that, and if you haven't listened to my last episode, go there and start making small choices to make these big changes. So in short, again, love it all, love everything. Anything that you feel hate towards, learn a way to love it. And how you can do that is see the perspective of whatever that is. If it's a thing, if it's your body, if it's a concept, whatever it is, take that perspective, see what you have done to it, consciously or subconsciously, how you have affected it, how you have sabotaged it, and how you can make small choices to make big changes. And by doing that, you got to go listen to my last episode. But I love you so much. A friendly reminder to not only be kind to others, but also to your beautiful, amazing self. I will see you in the next episode.